Hello, my name is Grégory Scola-Grimaldi. I'm Cloud Security Leader at Orange Cyberdefense. Before joining Orange Cyberdefense 1 year ago, I spent 8 years in French submarine force where I gained intelligence experience. Then I worked in IT network and security in Monaco and Paris for roughly 15 years with a specialization in cloud security services during my last 3 years. The goal today is to give you an overview of Microsoft 365 security services. Firstly, we will have a look at the difference between O365 and Microsoft 365. Then Microsoft 365 security, what are we talking about? How we can help you, and finally, a focus on Sentinel. So let's get started. In 2020, Office 365 is one of the favorite targets of hackers. Some of these most common attacks include phishing, social engineering, DDoS attack, malware, and ransomware. And at the bottom of the slide, two recent references. Orange Cyberdefense is more and more requested by customers to help them secure their Office 365 environment. Microsoft 365 is a bundle of Office 365, Windows 10, and Enterprise Mobility plus Security, EMS. Microsoft 365 is the parent product of Office 365 and was created to bundle other Microsoft productivity, mobility, and security tools like Office, Exchange Online, Teams, OneDrive, SharePoint, Power BI, Yammer, and so on. Across M365 and O365, there is 12 licenses to choose from, ranging from €4 per user per month to 53 euros per user per month. We are going to focus on two of them, Microsoft 365 E3 and Microsoft 365 E5. So what are we talking about? Microsoft security solution and pricing model, how it works. It's like being in a restaurant. Either you can take the menu E3 in your left or E5, and you have starter, Office 365, main course, EMS, and the dessert, Windows 10. Or you can take at the a la carte. Example, you can take the E3 license and add some services from E5 license. On average, it's €5 per user per month per service. Okay, or you can take the E3 license and add all the EMS E5 services. Let's focus on really the most used security services. The first one is ATP, Azure Advanced Threat Protection, is a cloud-based security solution to identify, detect, and investigate advanced threat compromise, identify, detect, and malicious insider action direct at your organization. Azure ATP enables security operators, analysts to detect advanced attacks in hybrid environment, to monitor users, entity behavior and activities, protect user identities, identify and investigate suspicious user activities, and of course, provide incident information. There is two plans, ATP Plan 1 and ATP Plan 2. So ATP Plan 2, it's the ATP Plan 1 capabilities plus automation, investigation, remediation, and education capabilities. The next security services is Azure Information Protection, IIP. It's a cloud-based solution to classify and protect documents and email by applying labels. Labels can be applied automatically by administrators using roles and conditions, manually by user, or by a combination where administrators define the recommendations shown to users. For example, your administrator may configure a label with roles that detect sensitive data, such as a credit card information. In this case, any users who save credit card information in a Word file might see a tooltip at the top of the document with a recommendation to apply the relevant label for this scenario. Labels can both classify and optionally protect your documents, enabling you to track and control how your content is used, or track document access and prevent data leakage or misuse. That's the same for ITP. There is a Plan 1 and Plan 2. The Plan 2 allows you to automate data classification and administrative support for automated role set and hold your own key that spans Azure RMS and Active Directory RMS for highly regulated scenario. Azure Active Directory is an identity management tool hosted on Microsoft Azure. It does have quite different capabilities and features compared to Windows Server's Active Directory. Its primary function at the moment is to manage users and the myriad of devices, Windows, Apple, Linux, PCs, tablets, smartphones, and so on, that users are employing in their work and social life, particularly for remote users. It's the authentication and authorization mechanism for not only Azure, Flexi 5 and iTunes, but is capable of tying in many other third-party authentication systems. Again, we have Plan 1 and Plan 2. Azure Active Directory Plan 2 has all the same features as Azure Active Directory Plan 1, plus additional features, which covers the topic of Azure Identity Protection and Azure Identity Governance. Identity protection to detect potential vulnerabilities that affect your organization identities, configure automatic response, and investigate incidents. Identity governance gives you the ability to do the following tasks across employees, business partners, and vendors, and across service and applications, both on-premise and in cloud. Govern the identity lifecycle, govern access lifecycle, and of course, secure privileged access for administration. And the last one, Microsoft Cloud App Security. It's a CASB, a cloud access security blocker that supports various deployment modes, including load collection, API connectors, and reverse proxy. As the name suggests, CASB acts as a gatekeeper to broker access in real time between your user and cloud resources they use, wherever your users are located and regardless of the device they are using. It provides visibility, control over data travel, and analytics to identify and combat cyber threats across all your Microsoft and third-party cloud services. CASB do this by discovering and providing visibility into shadow IT and app use, monitoring user activities for anomalous behaviors, controlling access to your resources, providing the ability to classify and prevent sensitive information leak, protecting against malicious actors, and assessing the compliance of cloud services. However, I would like to warn and inform you that these solutions are sometimes not adapted to your needs. First, in a hybrid world with multi-cloud, the use of this type of service does not work with an AWS or Google Cloud Platform environment. Secondly, the latest vulnerability on Teams has been discovered by a third-party security products. Microsoft is often not the first to detect its own security vulnerabilities. Thirdly, compare price and performance between Microsoft and other security products. It's not mandatory to choose Microsoft security services. You can use either third-party security product to enhance security or because you already have security tools on-premise and you want to use the same ones. Fourthly, most companies have special needs, as is the case in sectors where regulations are stricter. Finally, no one is supposed to ignore the law, so the Cloud Act allows US authorities to request the transmission of data stored abroad if it is hosted by a US service provider like Microsoft. All this without going through the course and without informing the users concerned. So, how Orange Cyberdefense can help you? In 2019, Orange and Microsoft have strengthened their co-selling partnership by signing an agreement covering fields as diverse as workplace, the cloud, and security. We are collaborating with a major cloud service provider, of course, like Microsoft, but also with AWS and Google Cloud Platform. We will display ourselves more and more with them as in their events. The goal is to be recognized as a security competency partner. A massive training campaign was launched at the beginning of the year for all OCD employees. As you can see, we have people trained and certified on Microsoft solution. Our strategy is to build competence first in cloud infrastructure and then cloud native application, then in containers, and finally in serverless. We can help clients to secure the use of Flexi 5. We have a portfolio dedicated to Microsoft Flexi 5. We are able to implement Flexi 5 security services or integrate other Gartner leaders security solution. Our goal is to be able to offer the same security solution and services to customer wherever on site in the cloud is, like access and authentication or identity access and management, infrastructure protection, data protection, and so on. And now for MDR, Managed Detection and Reaction, let me introduce you Rodrigue. Please, Rodrigue.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rodrigue LeBayon. I'm leading the CyberSOC operations in France. Let me present you how we are operating our CyberSOC activities on Microsoft Azure Sentinel. So first of all, we do have 12 CyberSOC worldwide. We are operating in 24/7. So we have a full coverage. We are supporting the different approach, technically speaking. We are currently supporting more than 120 customers, and our services are being provided by more than 400 of SOC experts. Let me show you how we can provide you visibility over O365. You have to consider different scenarios. The first thing is you want to get visibility on the different security alerts that are already being provided into the security center and compliance center of O365. Then you can have the first scenario that will be connecting the SOAR platform or any ITSM that will help you to have a tracking of those individual alerts, and then those alerts will be handled by SOC analysts. This is the first approach, which is clearly the most easy one to implement, but not the best to scale up and provide you the ability to digest hundreds of alerts on a daily basis. If you want to have a deeper analysis, then you can have a second scenario that will be the implementation of a dedicated environment for security information and event management. It's called a SIEM. Or you can have a more advanced platform technology called Extended Detect and Response Platform. Those two different technologies can work either on collecting all the raw sources of events through the Microsoft Graph API. Then you'll have to the ability, and it would be necessary. You'll have to implement dedicated correlation rules regarding threats you want to monitor. This is the first option you might consider, or you can leverage directly on those technology and activate application or add-ons on top of that. They will offer you the ability to cover monitoring for cloud services or O365 directly. Then you have the most advanced scenario that will be directly leveraging on the Microsoft Azure Sentinel product, which is a combination of those first two scenarios. You will have the benefits of a full SOAR platform, but also one of the last generation SIEM engine that will help you to get the complete visibility on the different source of events. In terms of connection, OS 365 is connected to different security modules that have just been presented by Grégory to get the full visibility on the messaging service, the OneDrive document sharing platform, or Azure AD. You will have to connect and get all the alerts from those different modules. So you'll have the ability to use directly native connectors for those different modules that will be also available through Microsoft 365 Defender directly with some built-in detection and analytic rules. Azure Sentinel not only will rely on Microsoft 365 Defender, but also will give you visibility on all the different Azure available modules within your existing configurations. In order to have a proper Azure Sentinel environment in place, we'll have to consider either to create a new log workspace to get all those events in the same place, or you can directly use an existing one. When you do have all those information available into one place, then you just have to activate the Azure Sentinel module that will bring you a direct visibility on all those different event sources. Let me show you in depth what you will get as soon as you have activated the Azure Sentinel module. First of all, first thing you have to consider is what are the different data sources you will need in order to set up your detection capability. The thing is, we do recommend to activate, of course, all the different native Microsoft 365 modules, but as well Azure AD, Microsoft Defender for Identity, Microsoft Cloud App, acting like a CASB, on directly Azure Defender. But not only those modules, but also you will be able to collect additional source of events that can be external vendors solutions directly supported by Microsoft, or you can also have your own custom collection of data. It supports CEF format, syslog, and API REST collection capability. Also, Azure Sentinel is directly providing you predefined analytic rules templates that will help you to have really the basic level of detection capability, but that will help you to have directly in place in just a few days all the first and the basic way of monitoring the most active threats. Those threats will not only be relying on the data sources you've previously configured, but we do also strongly recommend you to have and get enrichment directly from your CTI. So you can get directly your connection to your own CTI server or any third-party platform. Then when you do have the platform for detection in place based on the different data sources, we do also strongly recommend to have a look directly within all those big volume of data by running different hunting queries that will help you to track specific actions that can be considered to be dangerous for your organization. So for this, you can get clearly the best here from the Microsoft security researchers directly that are providing more than 100 building hunting queries. They are all publicly available, so you can directly browse them. They are on a regular basis. You can get a lot of new queries regularly. So it's really a really good benefit you will get directly from Azure Sentinel. Also, you can consider that for the query you will be running the most, you can of course start an industrialization phase. So for this, you can directly include them into notebooks. So we'll have a big gain in terms of time running those queries. also not only considering the threat detection, but you will have to consider the remediation phase. For this, you can leverage on the playbooks directly available within Azure Sentinel. So you'll have to configure those by yourself, of course, but you will rely directly on the Logic Apps module. So that will provide, for instance, direct connection to your existing ITSM for security ticketing and tracking. So it will be fully integrated within the whole ecosystem. Based on our experience and regarding our numerous years of experience deploying SOC projects worldwide, we are considering that it's a big gain of time by using Azure Sentinel. Previously, we were considering that just building the platform from scratch was taking around 3 months to have this in place for to start a security operations center. By using Azure Sentinel, we do consider that we can have a proper platform in place with all the features that a SOC will require in only 2 weeks. So thank you very much for listening.